What's up guys, Mitch from the DIYRecordingStudio.com, and this week there's great plug-in deals from Izotope. Apple has announced the release of its latest Mac Studio as well as the MacBook Pro, and as always I have an exciting free plug-in for you at the end of the video. That's enough from me, let's get into it. So Future Mitch here, and as I was editing this video, there's been an exciting free plugin bundle release that I had to throw in, and it's from Dear Reality. If you're not familiar with them, they have a suite of plugins that are now free because they're ceasing operation because Sennheiser have purchased them, and there's 11 immersive audio plugins. So it's all to do with immersive, but you can obviously use their plugins in other setups as well. If you're mixing stereo, you can still use their reverb and stuff like that. They have a spatializer, they have a synthesizer, they have some headphone mixing environments for studio headphones, so that like with some of the Slate stuff, and that you can take your headphones and put yourself in a room listening to, emulated speakers, so there's crossbleed and your headphones sound more natural like listening to a pair of speakers, if that's your thing. Anyway, bunch of really cool free things. Did I mention it's free? Anyway, go grab them, get them before they run out, July 31st. Cool. Back to the rest of the content. Next up, we have an awesome deal from Izotope for their plugin collection. They've got what they're calling Mix and Master Month, and you've got discounts on their Elements packages for Neutron, their Ozone Elements as well, so you can take a look at that. And then they've got the Elements Suite as well. So if we have a look at Ozone Elements, they've got tonal balance, you've got that frequency kind of curvature thing, and it's only $50. That's an excellent discount if you wanted help with your final mix mastering kind of stuff. If you're getting to the point where you're working with clients but you just need that little bit of help maybe on your mix bus or your master bus, Ozone can be that thing that just gives your track a little bit of a lift. And I know lots of other creators and engineers that might use this as a reference, so they might slap Ozone on just to see what it does and then achieve a better result with their own EQ moves or hardware or whatever. Anyway, so that's pretty cool, pretty good discount there. Even their Elements Suite there, $137. Whilst not cheap, you're getting their denoise, declick and all that sort of stuff, the restorative plugins, the de-esser. A lot of that stuff is really, really high quality, and yeah, definitely worth a look if you're needing some final mix and mastering kind of plugins or some restorative plugins. So pretty good deal from Izotope because, they're not cheap plugins. In other big news, Apple have come out with their latest offering of iPads, and more importantly, the Mac Pro, and their desktop feature for the M4 Max and the M3 Ultra. It's a bit of a confusing thing with the architecture of the chips on that, but we don't have to get into that. All you need to know is that they've announced it. The Mac Studio, they're billing it as the most powerful Mac ever made. They're saying that it is actually the new M3 processor that delivers the best performance from the M3 Ultra, which that should be the case anyway. But then up to a 32-core CPU, 80-core GPU, with 512 gigabytes of RAM and up to 16 terabytes of storage. Now, everyone knows with Apple, for that fully decked out spec, you're gonna pay a premium. It's probably really, really expensive. But what you should know is that on this channel, I did videos ages ago when I bought the first M1 Max, and it is just a workhorse computer here. It's quiet, so when I have a vocalist, right next to me working, you don't hear fans. And on my old PC, the fans were loud and they were a problem. So the Apple Silicon computers are amazing for staying cool, being quiet, being a small form factor so you can fit them anywhere in a studio. And if you're working in a home studio environment, they're kind of ideal, especially the latest Mac Minis they released as well. You kind of can't go wrong. For most people, the Mac Mini is going to be enough. But if you're doing video content as well, like myself, the M1 Max or the M1 Ultra might be something worth looking at. But what you should also think about is if the new M4 is out, there's probably going to be some cheaper M1s or M2s on the market, on the used market, on Facebook Marketplace, eBay, all that sort of stuff. So if you've been eyeing off a better, Mac Studio rather than just a Mac Mini, you'd be able to get one of those for much cheaper as well. Anyway, just something to think about. In the final section for today's episode, we have, of course, a free plugin. And you should know on this channel, I'm always going to try and quickly demo a plugin and show something that I've been working on. And today is no different. We're looking at a session from a band I've featured before here called Pulse. And I've actually just finished this EP. This is an almost finished version of the mix without all the master bus processing and stuff. So it's a mix, but no master bus. And the reason is because all that gear's turned off and I'm not routing my patch bay and stuff. Cool, so you get the point. Big, heavy, grungy, drums, guitars, bass. Shout out to Mitch, who you should be familiar with on this channel as well. He put me onto this cab simulator. He uses this and uses some cab IRs and stuff. But what's cool is they have their own amp plugins. Now these aren't free, but you can do a free trial and run it into their speaker IRs, which is pretty cool. So you can download the speaker IRs for free. You only get 3 mic settings. You get the 3 that matter anyway, the Ruben and the 2 dynamics, which we'll take a look at right now. So here's my original guitars. And what is going on there, the artist had a Marshall JCM 900 or a Marshall Plexi JCM 900? JCM 900. He has a Marshall JCM 900 and we put that into my cab with the Celestian Greenback mic'd up with a RM5 ribbon microphone and an SM57. And what's cool is in this plugin, you can take their amp. They've got a slightly different amp. They've got the ML800. There's the DI. There's the amp. Now the real magic happens when we add the IR, because an amp is nothing without the speaker it's got to run into. Now I'm gonna mute the MD421, and what they've got is the Royer 121 and an SM57. Off. On. Now that's crazy to me. That sounds like a speaker with a mic on it. And like I've been so dubious on IRs and amp sims and stuff for a long time, but they are getting so good. Like, have a listen to this. Maybe I'll go in a bit more. That's crazy. Like, that sounds like an amp going into a speaker, then being captured by a microphone. That's some of the best IRs I've ever heard. And I've been so dubious on amp IRs and using like load boxes and all this kind of stuff, but they're so good now. Like, they're definitely getting like just so close to the real thing. Like, let's have a listen. Except for the tone that I've shaped on the actual recording. Like, I've obviously EQ'd my guitars originally differently. They sound so similar. Like, I could make either one sound the same. That is crazy. Like, you can actually hear the speaker to the microphone. Like, you can hear that difference that other amp sims and IRs sometimes struggle. There's that space that you get from the speaker and the air going into the microphone. And it feels like they've captured that perfectly. I'm actually so shocked at that. If you've got amp sims already, definitely go get these IRs and just have a go. They're pretty cool. So much flexibility here because you can move the mic around to get your tone, and then you can see the EQ curvature, and then you can also actually adjust this EQ curvature on the way in too. And what I love about that is, say you just captured DIs, it means you can do a bunch of different things. You can silent record, you can manipulate so much in post and give yourself some really secure options for tone if you don't nail it on the day. And I would definitely consider that. Like, this is pretty amazing. Like, I'm actually shocked how good this sounds. Like, I'm not overstating how dubious I've been on IRs and amp sims. Like, I've heard dodgy ones, like Waves have some, Cubase has its own. They're not good. None of them sound good. This is good. This is like crazy good. I've got to do more testing on this, but this is actually pretty nuts. That's so close, man. Like, they're so similar in tone by that stage with a little bit of EQ. Like, I could definitely get the same tone from either. That's nuts to me. That's really, really crazy. I'm definitely going to be spending some time with those cabs in the future. Mind you, I prefer to just mic real cabs. There's a thing that people get from performing through a real amp. There's a, feedback thing, same as using hardware. But goddamn, that is actually quite remarkable, like, in my opinion. Like, if you've been using amp sims and IR cabs and stuff like that for a while, maybe you're not as surprised as I am, but this is pretty cool technology, and the ability to record a DI, save your session if you don't get the guitar tones right on the day, or the option to blend other cabs and amps that you don't have, or once again, just have different colors and tones to work with. So incredible. Loving that. Leave your comments down below. Are you interested in this plugin? Definitely go get the IR cabs for free from MIKKO. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Sorry, guys. Are you looking to upgrade to a Mac or upgrade your mastering and final mix plugins? Let me know in those comment sections down below. If there's anything else that you want to talk to me about, you can email me at mitch@thediyrecordingstudio.com. And don't forget to add me at the DIY Recording Studio on Instagram. Me and Mitch have a new podcast. It's called AudioBois. Please go check out episode number 1. It's on YouTube. I'll put a link down below to that too. Thanks again for stopping by. I'm Mitch from the DIY Recording Studio.com. I'll catch you soon.